God is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Sue, a lot of the Republicans on the committee may not like the law. But the fact is, the Constitution and present statutes have you legally serving as acting Secretary of Labor. They may not like it, but you're there, and it's certainly legal. In terms of child labor, we have another example of some in Congress complaining about something as if it's a solution. We've seen this in immigration, where there are a lot of complaints about what's going on in immigration. When you have a bill come up to do something about it, they kill the bill, say out loud that if we pass the law, it means that we wouldn't be able to campaign on it, and then go back to complaining. Well, we have, previously, I sent a letter along with Dr. Adams to Chairman Fox and asking for a hearing on child labor. Haven't had it yet. We had with Senator Casey and Representative Kildee, we sent a letter to the GAO asking them, since we couldn't get it done through the committee, to study the situation with child labor. But there's also no support for our bill to increase fines for child labor violations. We find that even adjusting for inflation, the funding for enforcement funding is down. With all that going on, can you tell us what some Republican governors are doing in the child labor space?
So unfortunately, Ranking Member, at the same time that we see devastating cases involving children working in illegal and harmful conditions, there are some rollbacks in states of child labor protections.
Thank you. You mentioned showing up for work. Isn't it a fact that many Department of Labor employees work at places other than their offices, working hard, like inspections and things like that? So,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we've had this incredible back and forth about a choice about being an independent contractor or an employee. Can an employee elect to be an independent contractor and not be eligible for minimum wage and other protections? Or probably more accurately, in real life, can an employer tell a prospective employee, if you want to work here, you're going to be an independent contractor, you want to work here, and if they say okay, can the employer then strip the employee of their right to minimum wage, overtime, workers' comp, unemployment compensation, OSHA protection, or health and pension benefits that other employees get, because he can call them, because the employee agreed to be an independent contractor, and the employer can save a lot of money doing that? Or does the employer have to follow the law?
Yes, Ranking Member, employers have to follow the law.
The job numbers have been discussed. First of all, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, doesn't it happen every month? They revise last month's numbers? Doesn't that happen every month? Hasn't it been going on forever?
Yeah, the revisions to the numbers are part and parcel of what the BLS does. And the reason why they do that is, and the reason why they're recognized as the most accurate and reliable source of employment information, is because they have a vast body of data on which they rely.
So this is nothing new. The fact that they're revising numbers is nothing new.
And then they make revisions to be accurate,
okay,
correct?
In terms of numbers, in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, he created 6.4 million jobs. Biden created 14.7. Total numbers in the Trump administration ended up losing 2.7 million jobs total. So far, the Biden administration has created 15.2. They talked about the black unemployment. The lowest Trump got was 5.3. Lowest Biden has gotten 4.8. Just put the numbers out there. When Trump left office, it was African American unemployment 9.3. It's now 6.4. The lowest unemployment period fund of 4% for 50 years. I don't know how you can spin that other than those are good numbers. And furthermore, the pandemic, President Trump doesn't get any credit for having a pandemic. He had 10 months of a pandemic. President Biden had 2 years of a pandemic to deal with, but he was able to create all this great economy in spite of the pandemic. Under President Trump, the wheels just came off and in the ditch. Mr. Chairman, thank you for. I have to yield back.
And I will recognize the ranking member again for a closing statement.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's evident that the Department of Labor, under the leadership of the Biden administration and legally serving Acting Secretary Sue, remain committed to uplifting workers and families through policies and prioritize the rights and well-being of workers. Despite attempts to undermine this progress, the facts speak for themselves. Thanks to Acting Secretary Sue, wages have increased and critical protections have been restored, and the truthful numbers show it. Moving forward, our priority should be to support the Biden administration's pro-worker, pro-union agenda and advance policies that protect workers' rights and foster the economic growth for all. So I thank you, Acting Secretary Sue, for your leadership and being focused on improving the lives of workers and their families. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Acting Secretary Sue, I'm going to be blunt. It's time for you to step down. This has gotten ridiculous.